everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
The podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up today, we're going to be talking about a little situation.
We're going to be talking about
with
gays.
With regards to gay people.
We're going to be talking about the gay folk. It's Gay Pride Month, y'all. Happy Pride.
Yeah,
to
but
everybody.
It's things we're going to talk about kind of things of feel like they've shifted.
Yeah.
Our sense of place in the world.
Don't know if you've noticed, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, so.
Yes.
But yeah, it is Pride Month. You're right about that. We just had Gay Pride here in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City, one of the best Pride celebrations in the country.
I would think so. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's shockingly huge.
And the best part is that people don't see it coming.
Right.
People from the rest of the world, they keep doing articles about, like, how is the Pride in Salt Lake so big? What the fuck is happening over there?
Because Salt Lake is gay.
It's a very gay town.
It's a very gay town.
I love it.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
But before we move on to anything else.
Oh, yeah. This is true.
We got a new thing we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Listen, a bunch of you have written in and said, hey, every now and then, or every week or something.
Or basically all the time.
Ads are cutting into the middle of what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
And we know.
Yeah.
And it's a problem, and we're working on it. We're working on fixing it now. But you know what it did? It spurred us.
Yeah.
We've been
having a discussion over the last couple of weeks as to, like, maybe we don't even want to have ads on the show.
Yeah.
Period. We've offered that as, like, a thing for patrons. For patrons. But maybe this is just something that needs to be for everybody.
Yeah.
But the ads do bring in revenue,
right,
that we've grown to rely on. So there's a problem.
What we're going to do is this. We are going to do a drive. We are trying to get more patrons.
Exactly.
We've identified a number.
Yeah.
And that number is 350. And
total patrons.
Total patrons.
Right now we're at 218 as of recording.
Right. Which, by the way, just so that you guys know, that's low for a podcast of our size.
Yeah.
That's actually, we haven't, we
don't beat that drum very hard, but like, or at least I don't think we do.
So here's the thing. We know the number of people listening to the show. and we know the number of people who are contributing, and what we'd like to become is just a listener
fully listener supported
show.
Yeah.
That's what we want our show to be. And once we can do that, we can move off of all of we can just eliminate ads altogether.
Right. So what if we can do just a little quick history?
Yeah.
The hosting company that we were with, which ran ads and did an okay job of it. It was acceptable. Got bought out by another company.
Yeah.
And we're not going to name names here because we don't want to badmouth.
It's not about them.
Because they seem like nice people.
Yeah.
But, and we've mentioned it before, that there is just this technical issue with regard to ad placement.
Which we're working on.
Which we are working on. We're going to try to refine it a little bit. But it is a completely different game. And I cannot find another button to shut off mid-roll ads.
Yeah, it's true.
And so from my perspective, we have disabled that, and we're going to be in touch with actually the support people to try to completely disable mid-roll ad placement,
which cuts out a bunch of our revenue.
It's already going to cut out some revenue, but we're taking that step right now because we just don't. Yeah. Anyway,
but the larger goal here is if you guys can kick in enough, if we can have 350 or more sustained contributors, sustained patrons,
right?
We can get rid of it entirely. We don't have to deal with it at all.
So that is an addition of 132 over what we currently have, which seems totally doable.
Totally
it feels
doable.
Like we should be able to hit this goal quickly. And so if you guys can help us out here,
if you've been thinking about donating and just haven't gotten around to it, we're going to try really hard not to bug you about it too much. Mm-hmm. But now's the time. We've got a solid number. You can see it on our Patreon page. You can see where we're at and where we're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So just help us get us over that goal, and all will be well. And you choose the level that you contribute at. We say this all the time. So if you can afford a little bit more than the bare minimum, awesome. That's great. We would super appreciate that. If the bare minimum, if $1 an episode is the most that you can afford, great. And if you can't afford anything, of course that's fine. But if you can, $4 a month, is not a lot of money. That's a coffee. One Starbucks versus supporting a podcast that we hope is of value to you.
You keep coming back. We know you do.
Yeah. You're listening right now. Let me point out to you, you are listening to our show right now as we speak.
All right, we've
hit it too hard.
But thank God I'm atheist.com. Click on the support tab. That's how you get to Patreon. And we do sincerely and genuinely appreciate the support. So,
yes, indeed.
All right, Dan.
Yes.
I've got the story about a mayor in Alabama, small town, about 2,000 people.
Okay.
And he decided that he was going to hit social media.
Let me tell you something.
Facebook.
Nothing bad can happen when we're talking about a small town mayor in Alabama. There's nothing that can go wrong. I know it. I anticipate nothing but good things from what you're about to say.
So here is the post that he made.
Okay.
It says, we live in a society, and it's all cutesy, right? Like it's all caps, and
he's yelling?
He's yelling this to us.
Okay.
And I don't... Yes. Okay. So he says, we live in a society where homosexual... Actually, let me read it all caps. We live in a society...
No, please don't. Please don't. Thank you. That's okay.
We live in a society where homosexuals lecture us on morals, transvestites lecture us on human biology, baby killers lecture us on human rights, and socialists lecture us on economics. And it's all caps, and he still put an exclamation point at the end.
Okay. Wow, his life is really hard.
Yeah.
So far, I can tell his life is really, really hard.
Yeah. So this actually, some constituents of his actually responded back.
Uh-huh.
And the way that it's sort of, the picture that's being painted by this TV station, local station in Alabama, they say that it was actually some strong criticism from multiple constituents. But his pushback to that, he says, by giving the minority more rights than the majority, I hate to think the country my grandkids will live in unless somehow we change, and I think that will take a revolution.
Yikes.
He said, so then there's, I guess, some criticism there. And he posts, the only way to change it would be the only way to change it would be to kill the problem out. To kill the problem out. I know it's bad to say, but without killing them out, there's no way to fix it.
The them here being...
I would assume the people that he initially called out. Homosexuals... He says transvestites, but he means transgender people, and baby killers and socialists.
So here's the big question for me: where does he think gay people come from? Does he think that they're breeding themselves? Because
no, you got to. If you kill all the homosexuals,
you can kill all of the gays, and guess what'll happen?
You just get more gays.
You get more gays. They're going to keep coming. They're impossible to kill. They're like ants.
So anyway, the station, the way they report it is pretty amazing. They got him on the phone.
Yeah.
And they asked him about the comments that he posted. Mm-hmm. And he says, I don't think I posted that. I think that's somebody else's post. So it says, we questioned Chambers. That's his name. I've failed to mention his name. Mark Chambers of Carbon Hill. And he says, we questioned Chambers about the Facebook page, which contained birthday greetings and pictures of Chambers' family. So you're saying someone else is using your identity on Facebook? One of the reporters asked. And he goes, I don't know. So we offered to meet Chambers in person so he could view the post. He declined, then hung up. Minutes later, he called back. During the second conversation, which lasted about 6 minutes, Chambers acknowledged writing the post, but he said it was being taken out of context. I love being taken out of context.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is their favorite favorite line when they're really cornered in the
Go ahead and tell us the context in which it's fine for you to say kill all the gays. Cool. Let's hear that context.
He also claimed that he erroneously posted the comment publicly, and that it was meant to be a private message between him and a friend.
That makes it better.
He also admits he doesn't know how to Facebook, which is fine. I don't know how to Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook. It's not a problem for me that I don't know how to use the platform because I'm not on the platform.
Well, also, not knowing how to use it and accidentally posting something publicly that was meant to be private, we still saw what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, whether you said it whether we were meant to hear it or not, that doesn't change what you said.
Yeah. Also during the call, Chambers spoke about immigrants, calling them ungrateful. He claims
they should be so grateful for how we treat immigrants in this country.
I know.
We're so great to them.
He claims they're taking over the country, and he voiced some his comments were in response to a civil war happening in the United States. We talked about civil war last week.
Oh my God.
I don't like this at all. I never said anything about killing gays or anything like that, he says. So we read the post from Chambers' page back to him. No, that's in a revolution. That's right. If it comes to a revolution in this country, both sides of these people will be killed out.
Oh, my God.
Okay. He then fumed about privacy and his Facebook page not being for the public, although he did acknowledge his page's privacy settings were public.
Oh, my God.
Oh, they did a great job reporting this. He later changed his Facebook page to private.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then he said, at one point in the conversation, he said that he's not concerned about criticism. He said there's only one person in town who doesn't like him. I guarantee you, dude.
Oh,
there
my
are so
God.
many people in this town who don't like you.
Oh.
You're a dick.
Well, I don't know.
It is Alabama.
It's small town Alabama.
Yeah,
That dude's
they probably
getting
won't.
reelected, no problem.
Yeah.
That
that's
dude
very
is
true.
not going to have any trouble, but we can have some fun at his expense along the way.
But also, like, I want to know why, like, his Facebook page apparently is a mugshot. Look at this.
oh my God.
It's not really a mugshot, listeners, but like,
No, but-
he is just standing against a white wall in a polo with polo shirt, right?
With just his
expressionless.
arms dangling down by his side like he's been given a muscle relaxant or something. Slumped shoulders. That is a sad, sad picture.
That was the best they could find.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, I'm going to take us to... I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to take you. I'm going to have you guess.
Oh, goody.
This is a part of the world
Okay.
where a store owner
Okay.
opened his store
Okay.
on Good Friday
Oh, boy.
and is now being fined $10,000 worth of approximately $10,000
Opened on Good Friday?
for being open on Good Friday.
Someplace really fucking Christian.
So name a country. What do you
The
think?
U.S.
Nope.
But that wouldn't happen here.
Nope.
Really?
It was fucking Canada. Welcome to Manitoba.
What?
Where apparently there is a provincial law that prevents not all stores that have non-essential things. This is a grocer
Food is essential, people.
This is a grocer who decided to open his stores in Winnipeg.
No, you're making this up.
On Good Friday, he's been fined 10,000 Canadian for being open on Good Friday. Good Friday. That's not a fucking holiday. What the fuck are you talking about? It's not Christmas. And even if it were, You can't mandate that people have to close their business on a religious holiday. Like, what?
Well, apparently you can.
Apparently you can.
Apparently in Manitoba you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Provincial government.
Yeah. He decided to stay open when he looked and noticed that the local weed store was open. Because look, there are the exceptions to the act include this is the Retail Business Holiday Closing Act. But apparently pharmacies, gas stations, and cannabis stores are allowed to be open. So he saw that the weed store was open. He was like, fuck that, I'm opening.
Yeah.
And then he got 2 cops walked in and ticketed him. And now he's being
How is that
fined.
a real law?
How is this possible?
I can imagine this being like a law that once was.
Right. Yeah, well, like one of those laws that you read about and it's quaint and it's silly.
It's still on the books, but everybody knows we don't actually enforce it.
Here in Winnipeg, you can't ride your horse on the left side of the road. You have to ride it on the right side of the road, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't milk a cow on a Tuesday if the full moon's in effect.
Right.
But no, this is now, they're enforcing it. That shit's happening.
Wow. That is unexpected.
Yeah.
That is a stupid law.
Yeah.
When was it? Does it mention when this law was passed? Do you have any sense of that?
I don't. But it
Like, is
sounds
this a new law?
It sounds recent. Like
Well,
the
if it includes
Retail
cannabis-
Business Holiday Closing Act doesn't sound like something, I don't know.
Well, the fact that the law includes cannabis.
Yeah.
Like,
What the fuck?
this law has recently been updated
I don't know what's going on.
rather than repealed.
Right. Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is what you would expect any reasonable person to do.
So I think this guy's going to fight it.
Good.
Which he absolutely should do.
Good. You can't. No.
Because Canada's got like really good like human rights laws in place, like national laws that have pissed off some Christians because they're required to give. But like apparently they can enforce when you can open your
Apparently,
store.
Christians should just move to Manitoba
Yeah, exactly.
because you have police enforcing stupid laws.
Yeah,
Wow. All right. Well, Dan,
yeah.
over there in England and Wales,
Oh, beautiful England and Wales.
there has been a shift over the past 15 years or so
Okay.
in marriage practices, in how weddings are being performed. Humanist weddings have seen a 266% increase in England and Wales, while the number of Church of England weddings has fallen by 28%, Catholic weddings by 34%, and Baptist weddings, I didn't even know there were any Baptists over there, 42% drop.
Well, I mean, this falls in line with a story I did a little while ago about Scotland. So
Yeah, no, that's true.
it's good to see that all of the British Isles are on the same trajectory in terms of fuck off religion. We can do this on our own.
Yeah. Also, apparently, on the rise, the article includes a picture of chimney sweeps at weddings. It's a whole gallery of photos of chimney sweeps at weddings.
Is that a lucky thing? Wait,
I don't know.
Is the Mary Poppins thing based on a thing?
I don't know, but I mean, this guy he has a chimney sweep.
Yeah.
And he's dressed as a chimney sweep.
Yeah, he just like fucking Dick Van Dyke. He's like, I assume his accent's better than Mr. Van Dyke's.
Perhaps.
Oh my God! I'm sad that I eloped, and so I didn't have a wedding. But I'm sad I didn't have a chimney sweep.
One must have a chimney sweep at one's wedding.
It's the only accessory that's absolutely needed.
Humanist marriages, however, in England and Wales are classified as atheist or agnostic.
Okay.
So they therefore are not legal.
Oh.
This is where the article is actually kind of going.
Oh.
So they are not officially recognized by the government.
Unlike Scotland.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So they're on the rise, and there are people working to try to get this changed.
Right.
Yeah, they have not been able to get humanist marriages to be recognized as they are currently in Scotland and Northern Ireland.
That's so funny. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
so wait, they're getting illegitimate, like, unrecognized marriages. They're having weddings,
doing what the Mormons are now doing.
Okay,
right? Which is you do the actual legal thing,
right,
and then you go off and you do what you really want to do,
right. So you get legally married by some justice of the peace or whatever,
and then you go and you have a humanist chaplain supposedly
do the ceremony that you want.
Yeah,
okay.
do something nice and that fits you. That's not churchy and gaudy and religious-y and whatnot. But here's a quote from Andrew Copson. He's the chief executive of Humanists UK.
Yeah,
he says, "We knew from the huge popularity of our funerals," let that settle in for a second, "that there was enormous public appetite for humanist ceremonies, but the scale of the demand for weddings has blown us away."
Yeah, because nobody wants your fucking priest.
No, the priests who will not listen entirely to your wishes and insert things that you don't care about.
They'll fucking preach at your people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that.
And say awful things, right?
Oh, Lord.
Awful, horrible things about...
Yeah, you can't control a priest. Just understand. If you hire a religious person to conduct one of your ceremonies, you may think... They may look like they're agreeing with you. Oh, yeah, we can do that.
If he happens to know that you were living in sin before getting married...
He might throw something in about it.
He might throw something nasty in,
They're sneaky.
Yeah.
Mormon bishops are the worst about that sort of shit.
Oh, my God.
Mormon bishops
are so judgy.
They're such dickheads.
And what they're the prescribed wording of the whole thing, their guidelines say they are supposed to talk about how this is a lesser ceremony than the temple marriage.
Right, yeah. So if they don't, if you're not in the temple, if they're having the ceremony outside of the temple and the Mormon bishop is officiating, he's going to shit on your marriage.
Yeah, he's going to rub your face in the fact that this is not a temple marriage.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Hey, well, speaking of the Church of England.
Oh?
So every 10 years, theoretically, they have their Lambeth Conference, which is the entire Anglican Communion, including the Church of England and the Anglicans elsewhere far flung in the world.
Yes.
It was supposed to happen last year, 2018.
Okay. Got postponed?
It got postponed to 2020. The Archbishop of Canterbury, who's like the head honcho of the Anglican Communion, I still can't get over the fact that the head person of a major world religion is named Justin. I will never get over that. Anyway, Justin Welby, Archbishop of Canterbury, looks like he's sort of mid-level manager of a tech company. He's like a junior.
Well, he has a mid-level title as well.
Archbishop of Canterbury?
He's an archbishop.
Yeah, it doesn't sound... Yeah.
Come on. Get something more lofty.
Get some cardinals in there. What are you doing?
Come on, guys.
That's as high as it gets.
Fancy.
Anyway, he postponed it to 2020 because he's been trying to reconcile some warring factions within his within his flock.
Okay.
Notably, the African factions, which are all super conservative and do not like gays. No gays. They hate them. It's sin. So, on the other side
of that makes me laugh.
On the flip side of that coin are the Americas, where there are gay bishops, there are gay priests, there are lesbians about, there are women getting the priesthood, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah, walking past an Anglican church downtown on Pride Sunday, pride flags.
Yeah.
At the church.
Yeah, a little bit different. There's a slight difference between
Episcopalian.
them.
It wasn't.
But let me tell you something. There's a problem here. The highest number of Anglicans in the world Nigeria.
Oh, boy.
Then the UK. After
What?
Nigeria.
Really?
Then, third place, Uganda, with Sudan and Kenya following.
What?
So it's
There's so many Anglicans in Africa.
so many Anglicans in Africa, and the African Anglicans are out. They are not. So they've now announced that they're not coming. You'll recall that only months ago, they announced that they were inviting all of the gay bishops to Lambeth, but they were not inviting their spouses, whereas the spouses of all of the other gay bishops could come. So that was...
the spouses of all the straight bishops.
Oh, sorry, of all the other bishops.
Yeah.
So that was a big hubbub. But that was supposed to be the... I think the olive branch to the Africans.
And it wasn't enough.
They have poo-pooed this gesture.
So
it is not
first
enough.
they offend all the gay bishops.
Right. Which is only like 4 or 5.
Nonetheless.
And all of the bishops who are allied to these.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
So they offend all of them.
and then
the
doesn't
Africans
work
still snub
at all. And this
this is a mess.
The Africans are not
What a
happy.
mess. What is Justin going to do now?
Oh, Justin! You were not prepared for this, Justin.
Oh, no, it's the worst.
There you go.
Okay.
Trouble in paradise.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dan, over in Tennessee.
Oh, goody. You're going to all the good places.
I love this story. I mean, no, I don't. It's a horrible story. Craig Northcott.
Okay.
Is how I'm going to say his name. Probably Northcott.
Okay.
Of Coffee County. He's the local district attorney.
Okay.
He has come out and said openly that he is not going to enforce the state's domestic violence laws if it's a homosexual couple.
Oh my God.
Which domestic violence laws are designed to add layers of protection,
right?
In these instances,
such as he knows that gay marriage, that these people are married, right? Like,
well, let's get to that.
Okay,
let's get to that. He says that so there's enhanced punishment under these laws,
right? And
there's also the ability to take firearms from a dangerous offender who's convicted, stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Reasonable things that even Tennessee has decided should happen in cases of domestic violence. He is saying, however, and if Coffee County sounds familiar to some of you, this is where Bonnaroo is held. So that's of note.
Yeah.
So if you're a music fan and you know what Bonnaroo is. Sure. That is. So he says, and this is all, you must understand, that this is all taken from a video, all these quotes.
Okay.
These are things that Craig Northcott said. He's the district attorney.
District attorney, okay.
And he says, and the district attorney, just so everybody understands, that's the chief prosecutor.
Yeah.
That is the person who after the police have collected up somebody and charged somebody with, it's his office
that decides,
that is going to prosecute in court or go through the process of getting somebody to, plead guilty.
Yeah. They file the charges.
Exactly.
They are the main guys in terms of the criminals. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
These are the people who put people in jail.
Right.
All right. So, but he was talking in this video to it was at a Bible conference, and it was posted by the Dean Bible Ministries.
Oh my.
The segment is titled "The Local Church's Role in Government."
Oh God. Zero.
He said
none.
He told attendees that he believes the Bible calls public officials to be ministers of the gospel.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Awful.
Great.
Terrible idea.
Yeah.
He says that the nation is being ruled by, quote, 5 people in black dresses.
5?
Well, that's all it takes to make a decision on the Supreme Court.
Okay.
It's 5 out of the 9. So he says that 5 of them are ruling the nation.
Oh, my God.
Right? So he says, so the social engineers on the Supreme Court decided that we now have homosexual marriage. I disagree with them. What do I do with domestic assaults? He doesn't
prosecute
them.
Wow.
He prosecutes them as just normal assault.
Just assault.
The reason that there's enhanced punishment on domestic violence is to recognize and protect the sanctity of marriage. And I said, there's no marriage to protect, so I don't prosecute them as domestics.
Oh, my God.
There's a problem here, which is that the domestic violence laws do have nothing to do with marriage.
No.
They protect married and unmarried couples.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of orientation.
You don't even need to live together.
Probably not. If you're in a
relationship, oh my God.
And you're being battered, right?
Yeah.
So he says there are no constitutional rights. There are only God-given rights protected by the Constitution.
Wow.
If you don't believe in the one true God, there is nothing to protect.
Wow. Okay.
He has problems with Muslims too.
Really?
Yeah.
I am shocked.
Shock horror.
I don't. How could that be?
So the gays and the Muslims, ironically, are teaming up against this guy.
Yeah.
Because,
because that's crazy.
This is some crazy, scary shit.
I mean, it is, after all, the year 1906. So it makes sense that this would be happening in this country in 2019. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna close this out with a what I think is a very interesting story. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
The California State Senate recently passed a bill that would require priests to report child abuse and molestation if they learn about it while hearing a confession.
Okay.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
That wasn't already a thing?
No. Because priests have always claimed that is a sacred and it's like attorney-client privilege, right? They claim that there's a privileged position between a priest and their parishioner when it comes to confession. But California is saying...
answer to a higher authority.
Right, exactly. California is saying, no. If they're admitting to abusing their children, you have to report it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, you should probably be reporting it when you or one of your colleagues...
well, if one of the colleagues reports it...
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that I think they're already required by law to report in some places on each other.
Well, okay, good for California. What's the fallout?
Well,
because I figure there's gonna be.
Well, yeah. Currently, it's passed the Senate.
Okay. So it's not law.
It's not law yet.
Okay.
There's an altered version of the bill that is amended, which basically it would have required the priest. Anyway, hopefully it does go through. But people are very, very upset. They're saying that it's a blatant violation of the First Amendment. That was San Francisco Archbishop Salvatore.
God. Fuck you.
Cordileone.
We're talking about children here.
Right.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's calling church-state separation. Oh, God.
No.
If someone is reporting child abuse, you have to call the authorities.
Yes.
But yes,
God.
they have clergy penitent privilege. They're very.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't like that.
No. And so there will be a fight. There will be a battle. We'll see how that plays out.
Right. Maybe there's some sort of loophole. They should contact like those Jewish people who come up with like the buttons for the phones and switches on the Sabbath. Surely there's a way.
Get some rabbis on this.
Yeah, you can report this without actually reporting it.
Yeah, rabbis are really great at that sort of thing.
They need to get really like
right. Exactly. Like, I'm keeping the confidence, but I am pushing this button.
Yeah.
Which takes a photograph of you and sends it. It's not anything I'm saying. Yeah. I'm not telling anybody anything.
No. It would have to be more like, I will hold this button down as long as you're not telling me about, whatever. Right. And that prevents the photo from being taken. Releasing my finger, I didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, something along those lines.
All right. Well, Dan.
Yeah.
Tell us how people can respond.
I will. Listen, if you want to write into us and tell us all about things, we had some email kerfuffle, but it is fixed now.
It is fixed fine as well. Like, it is good.
Yeah,
our new email, believe it or not, is improved.
It's yes, exactly.
It's enhanced.
So use it. Write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yep, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist if unlike Frank, you know how to use Facebook. And you can click on the like button and see all the cool stuff.
This is true, and apparently there's a place on Facebook where you can search for things, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge, and request to join.
Yeah.
While it is a closed group, we will let you in.
That's how it works.
Hey, Dan.
Hello.
So here's a fun little clip that we're going to play. It looks like this was the Jim Baker show.
On the Baker show. Yeah. And this guy,
Robert Henderson is his name.
He's gonna tell us a few things. He's going to tell us a revelation about how Donald Trump became elected.
Ooh.
Spoiler alert. This guy was involved. He's also going to call Hillary Clinton a flower, but that's going to not be a compliment. So,
okay. Well,
listen for that.
Okay.
That's 4 stages of judgment that will come upon anybody that becomes a party to saying, we're casting off his bonds and removing his constraints. And, of course, that's what they're doing with President Trump.
Yes.
They're actually saying, we don't want him. And that's what's so deadly about that is that he's God's choice. He's God's choice. And God said, I set him.
Yeah.
They can try all day long to remove him. They will not remove him. God said, I set him as the president. And they can fight and they can curse and they can do all that they want. The problem is they're fighting against God.
Right.
They're fighting against God is right.
That's the thing.
And God says, look, in March 2016, I was in Germany. And it was in the heat of the Republican primary. And there was like 10 or 12 people still in it. And all of a sudden, I have a dream. I'm in Germany. And Donald Trump calls me on the phone. And he says, I need for you to do a conference for me on July the 6th to shift things concerning my campaign, to shift things so that I will win. And so I did that. I had a conference on July the 6th. And we stood in the courts of heaven, in the council of the Lord. And in that council, God told me to make a decree out of James 1:11, which is all flesh is as grass, and the flower is as the glory of the grass. And he said to me, here's what I want you to do as you stand here. I want you to decree that Hillary Clinton's campaign is as grass, and that she is as the flower of the grass. And the burning, searing, exposing heat of God will come and bring exposure, and she will wither away, and Donald Trump will be the president of the United States. And we did that, and that's exactly what happened.
Wow. He made it happen.
He did it. He's telling us well after the fact.
Did he? Here's what I'm confused about. Did he have a conference or not? He said he had a conference, and then he said they stood in the something of God and the.
Was it a conference with God?
Was God invited?
He was an attendee.
He was there.
He had a lanyard, just like everyone else.
Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
What if God was?
Oh my God!
With a lanyard like all of us.
I don't I don't know what he was saying, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm very confused about what the fuck was going on. He was like,
he did it.
He was like, I had a dream, and Trump called me.
Yeah. So it's not, hey, Trump called me and said, hey, can you do this?
But I'm pretty sure
I had
he wants
a dream.
I'm pretty sure he's happy for people to misunderstand and think
confused.
That he actually got a call from Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Also, I love the idea that you can't get rid of him because he's God's choice. How is he God? He's God's choice. Was Obama God's choice then, too? Because if God didn't choose the people, how'd they get there?
Right.
I don't know. It's all a mystery. God, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and nobody's more mysterious than these bastards.
We actually literally get to see a fight between good and evil played out in the presidency, right?
I guess.
Evil.
Yes.
Evil, advances, and then God advances, and evil retreats, and then evil advances, and God retreats?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right? Like, how does this fucking work?
Constantly. This always happens.
It doesn't make any... it's just fucking lunacy.
It is lunacy. We'll talk more about that lunacy a little later in the show. But first, we had some folks write into us, and I wanted to acknowledge them.
Okay.
Stephanie wrote in, hey, guys. As always, you're doing a fantastic job with the podcast. Love it. Over the past few weeks, I've heard more than one American on the internet talk about the necessity for law changes regarding fetuses. They said that the law should be changed, that murder charges could be brought for unborn children also. So, for example, someone murders the mother and therefore the child also dies. They said that the prosecution should be able to charge them with 2 murders. Now, this is an extreme case, but I wonder if the real reason behind this is not a kind of backdoor way into outlawing abortion. What do you guys think? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
The more that they can establish personhood for a fetus, the more, if they can get any law to go through that grants personhood to a fetus, they feel like they're that much closer. Yeah. It is a concerted effort in this country, Project Blitz, to try and which of course has nothing to do with the actual fetuses. They don't actually care about that. What they care about is controlling women.
Absolutely.
And they make that clear all the time. They keep saying shit. Who was it? There was one guy that was asked about, well, what about all of the embryos that are created in a lab and then thrown away? And he was like, no, that's not a problem. That wasn't a woman. It wasn't a pregnant woman. Oops. You said it out loud, buddy.
Yeah.
Use your inside voice when you say the things that make it clear that you're just trying to control women and not trying to protect fetuses.
Yeah. Oh, God. All right.
Yep. The ding-dongs are out. Jeff wrote into us, in the first half of the show, you discussed the Catholic Church that leases its property to a public school and has ordered removal of pro-LGBTQ messaging.
Yeah.
I'm relatively new to Salt Lake. Welcome. Oh, he says he's been here for 4 years. And have heard that there are strict anti-LGBTQ rules and guidelines at the downtown mall that the Mormon Church owns. Wouldn't the same apply here? First of all, are there? I mean, I know that I've seen...
I can't walk through holding hands, maybe? Or displays of affection in the mall?
I don't know about that. I think there are some rumors about it, but I don't think that there are any big rules.
And if there are, they don't really enforce it.
No, not at all. I definitely see gay folks holding hands and all sorts of stuff.
You do?
Oh, sure.
In the mall?
Sure.
Really?
If I thought that was an actual rule there, I'd be holding hands with every man I went to that mall with. I would be going down there purposefully to hold hands at that mall, because fuck them.
Right.
But I don't think that that's a thing.
And getting banned from that mall wouldn't be that big of a loss.
No, it wouldn't. But maybe it's a thing. Although it doesn't fall under the same purview as the story that we were talking about, because we were talking about what amounts to a public school, so it's owned by the state, and run and funded by the state. That's a totally different animal than a privately owned and funded business.
Yeah.
Though in the Utah, gay people are a protected class, so you can't discriminate against them in your place of, if you're open for public business, right?
I don't think that's entirely the scope of our law. Our law is really restricted to housing and employment.
Right.
So I don't know how much further it goes than that.
Don't be so gay, everybody. Got very gay downtown this week.
Oh my God.
Still very gay.
It's always gay.
It's a very gay city.
It is so gay.
Everybody's gay here.
It's bizarre.
It's wonderful. It's
not everybody, but it's like we have a very high percentage of way higher than
we are
most cities.
We are the largest city in about a 500-mile radius.
Right.
So everybody, if you're from northern Nevada, if you're from Idaho, if you're from Montana, Wyoming, even parts of Colorado, and you want a place to go where you're going to feel a little more comfortable as a gay person, a lot of you are going to come to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And welcome.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
Yes, indeed. And it surprises the shit out of everybody that thinks they know what Salt Lake's all about. And that's fun, too.
Yeah.
It's always delightful. We did not answer your question, Jeff, so you're welcome. Anyway, Molly wrote into us, "Hi, Frank and Dan. Was listening to the most recent episode and got to thinking about the trend that you started to talk about with increasing number of conservatives prepping for a second civil war being fought over abortion. And I came to the conclusion that if they mean what they say about abortion being murder, that makes a certain amount of sense. It's like abortion banning laws that don't make allowances for rape or incest, or that intend to punish women and abortion providers for murder. They're awful and evil laws, but if they truly think that abortion is murder, then at least they're being consistent. Likewise, if they truly believe that abortion is murder, then it's consistent with that belief to believe that abortion is equal to slavery in terms of how evil it is, and that the pro-choice movement is equal to the Confederacy as well. I'm not saying that is correct, obviously, but if anything, I'd say that the fact that more conservatives aren't preparing for war, and a lot of them think that Alabama went too far, is pretty good evidence that they don't believe what they say they do regarding abortion being murder. I think that's an interesting point. I think that there's an interesting point to be made that, if you're not fighting tooth and nail, maybe you understand that this is actually, not the same thing as killing a person post-birth.
Right.
Maybe you get that.
I think there are a lot of Christians who understand that distinction. I mean, the Tribune just ran an article this last week about the LDS Church, clarifying actually that they're actually kind of pro-choice in a lot of situations.
Right. Certainly in the in the situations of incest, rape, or health issues.
Yeah. They're actually very open to that.
Yeah.
That's nothing that they are pushing against at all.
Which is funny
now,
because
elective abortion,
right.
they have problems.
They have a problem with it, but frankly, if you're okay with these other things, just shut up.
Yeah, no, I really
literally just shut up.
Right.
If you're not okay with it, also shut up. You're wrong. But yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's an interesting point, Molly. We had some folks give to us, and I'm going to start us off because we had a one-time PayPal donation from Thomas, which was very generous. Thank you so much, Thomas, for that.
Yeah, thank you.
And what do you got?
Very much. Well, we have 2 new patrons on Patreon.
And they signed up without even knowing that we're now doing this push.
Is true. Yeah.
So they're
awesome. They're really awesome.
Yeah.
We have 1 new faithful listener, Juan, and 1 new venerable listener, Rocky.
Oh, you guys are great. Thank you so much.
So much. Both these kind souls went to our website, thankgodimatheist.com, and clicked on the support tab.
Yeah.
And followed the links over to Patreon where they became patrons.
And where they became part of the legion that's going to get us off of these advertisements and keep us rocking and rolling.
Yeah, thank God. And of course, there is our Lord and Savior, our top donor, who reigns supreme. All bow before Josh.
Hooray! Thanks, guys.
Dan.
Yes, sir.
Your face.
Your face. Don't be rude. You're the one that's actually like not having a beard lately.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
And how are you doing that? How are you achieving this non-beardedness of yours?
Well, I shave.
Oh, okay.
From time to time. I like a little scruff.
Sure.
Right?
It's not a consistent thing.
But then you have to take it down.
Right.
Right? And start all over.
And the way to do that
is with Harry's.
The prime way to do that is with Harry's.com, which is a way of getting razors delivered right to your house.
Yeah.
For way cheaper than you'll find at the grocery mart.
And saves you a trip.
Yeah, exactly. Now, 10 million folks have already tried Harry's. But we're not going to leave you high and dry. You're going to try it for free.
Wow.
With us.
Wow.
No, I know you may have heard other podcasts claim that they're also doing this offer, but don't believe them. It's just us. We're doing we got the good stuff. And we've both tried Harry's. We both like Harry's. We both use Harry's.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're not bullshitting you here.
No.
This is legit.
No.
So if you go to harrys.com/TGIA, easy enough, easy to remember, you will get a trial set that comes with everything you need for a close, comfortable shave. A weighted ergonomic handle for an easy grip, 5-blade razor with lubricating strip, and a trimmer blade for a close shave. Rich lathering shave gel, we love that, that will leave you smelling great. And a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy on the go.
Nice.
So, listeners to our show can redeem their trial set, again, at harrys.com/TGIA. You go there, we hook you up, you just pay the shipping.
Yeah.
Nothing, no fuss, no muss.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you cancel. If you do like it, you get it delivered to you. You never have to think about a razor ever again in your whole life.
Oh my God.
It truly is a fine shave. So please, if you haven't tried them out, do it now. harrys.com/TGIA. That's how that works.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Dan.
Well, thank you, Frank.
No, Dan, thank you.
Hey, let's talk about queers. Let's talk about the gays.
Oh,
God
so many
dang.
gays. So many gays. Pride Month, Dan. Pride.
It's the Pride
we
Month.
Love Pride.
Yeah. You know,
It's the
well,
best
here's the
time
thing.
of the year.
I had some feelings about Pride. You know, a couple years ago, I was thinking about Pride, and gay marriage had gone national. We had Obama in the presidency. Everything was kind of swimming. We were doing okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Gay Pride's just a festival now. It doesn't have the oomph, the impact. It doesn't have the meaning that it used to have. Because people are, by and large, okay with the gays.
Oh, Dan. But, I mean, even then there was still important stuff to do.
Yes, there was still work to be done.
You know, teenagers growing up in religious or just homophobic households.
Right, absolutely.
There was that.
Utah has a huge teen suicide rate, and that
Absolutely.
was largely because, and a lot of that was a disproportional number of gay youth.
Yeah, and gay people in this country, have always faced assault and crime, and whatnot.
But it
and feeling
seemed,
unsafe.
It seemed
in
like
certain places, like for example, traveling to certain parts of this country still was kind of you just kind of didn't know.
Right. It was a sketchy proposition.
Maybe you had some preconceived ideas about what you were going to face. And maybe the place proved you right. Maybe it proved you wrong.
Right.
It
did seem like the trajectory was
progress.
Was in the right direction, and all gay people were being represented in media.
Absolutely.
And, it seemed like the country had just kind of started to really figure it out.
And I will say that as a gay man,
yes,
who lives in a very accepting and open place, I did feel very safe. I felt what you were saying, Dan.
Good. We were wrong.
Yeah.
It was wrong. And because those embers were still glowing, and all it took was the slightest breath from that fatuous dipshit we have in the White House right now. And suddenly the flames were fanned, and not the good kind of flaming, but actually the hatred kind of flaming.
Right.
And suddenly it's like relevant, like extremely relevant again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, there have been some interesting incidents here in Salt Lake recently that I've been hearing about. There's a restaurant that we both love.
Yeah.
That is owned by a gay couple, and they always have a pride flag out front.
Right.
And it was torn up. It was like shredded and partially torn down not too long ago. In fact, they actually still have it hanging, and they just have a new flag over the top of it.
Oh, interesting.
Which
Did you see
I
that?
think is the right move. Don't forget that these things still happen.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. They were on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Oh, were they?
And what's his name?
Guy Fieri?
Guy Fieri. God love him. It was very cute. He called it a pop and pop store.
Adorable.
That's adorable.
Adorable.
That's really cute. But yes, they were hate crimed.
They were.
A phrase that you and I have used for a long time.
Yeah. And then and I've heard of other. There was the Dominion Energy, our local provider of natural gas. They had a big pride flag on their downtown office building.
Yeah.
And somebody tried to cut it down.
Yeah.
And they had to chase him off. And then Andrea, your wife, was telling us about one of her acquaintances who was actually assaulted not too long ago while leaving a gay club.
Yeah,
here in
got
town.
beaten up, had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, so clearly there. And last year, Pride. Do you remember this one? Right after Pride, there was the group of gay men that were being chased down by like 19-year-olds, and they ran into an ice cream shop, and one of the workers had to sort of barricade the door and keep these guys out.
And people were being beaten.
Yeah.
So
it is still out there,
and it's gotten worse.
And it's getting worse.
They're emboldened.
Yeah,
even as so. I mean, now there's a thing that you can do. There's a service that started happening, I think, last year or maybe the year before, where you could pay a little amount, and it's a donation that goes to maybe the Utah AIDS Foundation or something, and they'll go and just like the Boy Scouts, they'll stick a pride flag in your lawn for Pride weekend
instead of an American flag.
Flag, they put the rainbow pride flag out.
Okay.
And people have been going around stealing those. So
maybe they just love rainbow flags.
Maybe they can't afford the fee, but they need
that's not what it is.
Pride flags.
The ones I heard were like being like vandalized and damaged, and it's clear what the message is.
Right.
And this was actually, I mean, this story, it's both there's like the good part of it where you're like, oh my God, because these were like people, the story was specifically about people out in a very, very conservative, very Mormon corner of the county.
Right.
Right. And that's where it happened.
Which means
it was cool that these people were actually taking a stand and saying, hey, we support our gay loved ones.
It means that these flags were already there. So like, yes,
there's weird progress.
The progress is still happening.
Yeah.
But the pushback has gotten new life breathed into it.
Yeah, I know.
And it is becoming violent, and it is becoming, and it's quite ugly.
Yeah.
So it's so funny that I think the thing that we need to remember is that progress bit.
Right.
It's still progressing, but they're really trying to dial back the rights now. They're really trying to the opposition is working tirelessly to dial back women's rights, to dial back gay rights, to dial back minority protections.
Yeah.
Like, these are things that it almost felt like, we had a black president. It almost felt like we had made some real substantive, non-undoable progress. And we haven't. It all could crumble.
Oh, we white men, white liberal men.
Yeah, me sitting in my place of privilege.
Done. It was absolutely.
I did not feel like it was done. I did not feel like it was done. And yet I did feel a little more secure than I should have done.
Fair enough.
Or a lot more.
The progress was what I felt was that progress was just what was happening.
Yeah.
We were just progressing as a society and as a nation, and great. And people might not be happy about it, but
they'll get old and die.
Fuck them.
Right.
Yeah, they'll get old and die. And then you hear about young homophobes, and you're like,
Nope. It's still gross. It's getting grosser. So arm yourselves, and celebrate Pride in your neck of the woods. Go to the local Pride festival.
absolutely.
Show your support for the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. You don't have to be gay.
No, but
In fact, we
they need the
We
support.
like the allies showing up.
Yeah. But be a real ally. None of this, I'm okay with gays, but not okay with trans. None of that bullshit. Just be a real ally. Go out and lend your support. Show them that you're there on their side. And show the rest of the world
Yeah,
that you're on their side.
absolutely. All right.
All right. Well, hey, if you have something you'd like to add to this conversation, if you would like to excoriate me for being so privileged and not knowing and being so dumb, you can do so. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yep. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click the like button.
And while on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join.
Yeah.
It's a closed group, but we will let you in. Also, Twitter and Reddit. You can look for TGI Atheist.
Don't forget that we're doing the Patreon thing. Please, if you can, go and help us get off of the tit of big advertising. We're still suckling there, but we don't want to be. Anyway, you can go to thankgodimatheist.com and find the link to that. Speaking of our social media, thanks so much to Mackenzie for all of the work she does on the Facebook page. Thanks to Danny and Amy for being our moderators on the Members Only Lounge.
And a big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club and to Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
And thank you for tuning in.
Bye-bye.